Welcome back. Well, in February 2024, Nigeria's NAFDAC ordered the shutdown of Sachet spirit production lines, prompting protests from workers who've feared massive job losses at the tune of over 5.5 million and livelihood disruptions. The House of Representatives intervened, forming a committee to review the issue. After considering stakeholders' arguments, the House unanimously passed a resolution in March 21st, 2024, urging NAFDAC to lift the ban, citing economic concerns and potential regulation solutions. Let's find out how that's going now. Join us to discuss. We have the president, FOTUB, that's the Food, Beverage, Tobacco Senior Staff Association of Nigeria in Abuja. That's Comrade Jimoh Oyibo. He's right there in Abuja. And then we also have Comrade Mike Olarewaju, General Secretary, National Union of Food, Beverage and Tobacco Employees of Lagos. And he's going to be joining me right here in Lagos. Great to have you, sirs. So let me start with you, Comrade Olarewaju. You know, we've seen, intervention from the House, at this point regarding the ban on sachet spirit. Talk to me about what's happening right now.
Thank you for having me here, and it's a pleasure to be here. And thank you, our viewers.
Right.
It is a thing of urgent necessity that we need to create greater awareness, not only by government Nigerians, about this issue at stake, concerning the issue of sudden closure of plants for the production of sachet products. It started, we all agree, we're all patriotic Nigerians. My name is Comrade Mike Olarewaju, as you have said.
Right.
I'm the General Secretary of National Union of Food, Beverage and Tobacco Employees. We are so concerned about the health and at the same time about the viability of companies in our sector. That is food, beverage and tobacco sector. Suddenly, like you rightly mentioned, on February 2nd, NAFDAC went and closed their plants. This is an arrangement that has been in place since 2018. They have been interfacing that, okay, on the need. Initially, they said they should reduce the volume of alcohol in this sachet, which they have done. And the NAFDAC have been monitoring them, and in fact, below the international standard. And at the end of the day, they continued. They agree on period. However, when the period given reaches, ordinarily they meet periodically. They ought to call for a meeting where social time we are not going to allow it again. We are going to shut down. But surprisingly, there was no something like that. And as a matter of fact, the same NAFDAC agencies gave approval for new plants producing sachets. They inspected it and they gave approval. Even some few months to that period, they came suddenly and closed it down, thereby rendering the jobs of Nigerians, innocent Nigerians. You all know what the situation, how precarious the unemployment market is in the country.
Right.
So now, as within 1 week, we have lost in our members 500 workers, because the company have no choice. They were not expecting it. They have to shut down and first of all dislodge some of the workers pending when they will finally close down the plants. So that was what motivated us to quickly intervene. We wrote at the National Assembly, call for hearing. We were invited and we were there. We presented our case. All the government stakeholders, including Standard Organization of Nigeria, road safety, police, custody, were there. And everybody, including that, initially the NAFDAC director was hesitating to come. Okay. But eventually when she came, she was made to know the danger, even as much everybody, even the member of the House, know the dangers of, the benefit of protecting Nigerian health. But the solution to headache is not to cut off the head. Okay,
let me come to Comrade Jimoh Oyibo right there in our Abuja studio. So definitely we know the issues at this point, and we've heard from NAFDAC, and they say that at this point is about the health, of Nigerians. And even me, when I'm driving sometimes, I see some of these bus drivers, they have a sachet in their mouth while driving. So, talk to me about what kind of regulation can actually work, in this kind of situation.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Honestly speaking, I think it's a situation where one individual claims to be more knowledgeable than the 360 National Assembly honorable members in the National Assembly, who on the 14th of March, had a resolution on this issue. And in that resolution, there was a circular directed to the DG NAFDAC to lift the ban because of the economic consequences of our actions. And then we were hoping that before now, because that was on the 14th of March, 14th of March to date is almost 4 or 5 months. We have not heard from her. And then it is unfortunate that some of us can be in our room and direct what is going to happen in this country. I don't think the NAFDAC DG is more interested in Nigerian children than the 365 National Assembly members who came up with that resolution. And sir, for us to also have a very good conversation over this issue, permit me to give you some of the highlights of the resolution in the National Assembly. The House of Representatives on Thursday, 14th March 2024, considered the above report and consequently resolved as follows. 1, that a ban should be lifted because the timing is inappropriate, given the fact that the economy is struggling. Unemployment rate is staggering and inflation rate is soaring, while the poverty level is on the increase with paucity of forest to do business. 2, that the ban of sachet alcohol should be replaced with the following prescribed regulations and access control, with emphasis, should be replaced with regulations and access control. Establishment of licensed liquor stores and outlets in all local government areas across the country. Making it unlawful to send underage persons to purchase alcoholic beverages. Tighten enforcement by law enforcement agencies. Increase monitoring and compliance checks by NAFDAC and others to ensure strict product quality in terms of content and safety. The producers of sachet should expose the dangers associated with the abuse of alcohol sachet products by boldly inscribing and enumerating the dangers on the packs as obtained in the case of the tobacco industry. We are using tobacco as a model now. When you look at tobacco, there is always this advert that says smokers are liable to die young. Up to today, we are still producing cigarettes. And that is what the employers have done over the years, inscribing on their labels, do not sell to underage. And adults drink responsibly. And in the first place, those products were not produced for children. They were produced for adults.
All right.
Somewhere along the line, we may have pockets of children having access to it.
Okay, Comrade Oyibo.
Exactly mean that all our children have access to this product. So the DG NAFDAC is just whipping sentiment.
All right, Comrade Oyibo, let me come in here.
There is no empirical evidence to support his claim that children have access to this product. Let me go further so that we guide this.
Comrade Oyibo, I don't know if you can hear me. Okay.
The government regulatory bodies should place more emphasis on regulation, monitoring and enlightenment campaign to educate stakeholders and the general public on the dangers of underage consumption of alcohol and its sales in motor parks. That enlightenment campaign should be carried out in secondary schools across the country as practiced by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLA. To educate students on dangers and vices associated with the abuse of alcohol. That parents, religious bodies, and non-governmental organizations, NGO, should be tasked to counsel their children or worse, especially the underage, on the danger of alcohol consumption.
Okay.
That regulatory mechanism should be strengthened to ensure enforcement and compliance, and of course, encourage legislation promoting recycling materials for green economy and minimizing importation of raw materials used in producing PET bottles and sachets to conserve foreign exchange. These were the resolutions.
Okay. Comrade Oibo.
360 members of the National Assembly.
Okay, Comrade.
And I'm sure that this would have also been transmitted to the executive arm of the government.
All right, Comrade, thank you. Thank you for that, Comrade.
Continue to insist that she will not leave the ban, which also means that one can safely conclude that I think there's a sinister motive behind her insistence.
Right. All right, comrades, thank you for that and sharing all of those documents. But let me come to Comrade Olarwaju now. So definitely looking at what NAFDAC has to do, with monitoring and all of that, it seems that's a lot of work that's going to be put on NAFDAC, at this point. But talk to me about why you feel that this ban has not been lifted, or is it maybe NAFDAC is trying to get more time, before they actually lift this ban?
As a matter of fact, there's no justifiable reason. The NAFDAC is just trying to be unnecessarily difficult and overzealous. Not taking, in fact, we take it as a deliberate act of sabotage against the economic policy of the federal government. This is not the right one, like initiated in that.
But what does NAFDAC stand to gain?
That is what I'm telling you. That is just the question. They have not. They have. I know the DG may know what she's trying to protect, but definitely not the interest of Nigerians. Because we too, if you go through thoroughly the resolution of the National Assembly, you will see that they made the valid resolutions. And beside that, the danger is involved. What we're trying to do is to protect the health of Nigerians, especially the little ones, the vulnerable ones. But let me let you know, if this thing is phased out, just like that, without a systematic phase out, what you took right now, you will be giving room for more companies to relocate from Nigeria. We have seen so many companies. Our neighboring countries, they are ready to give rooms. Okay. And this product will be taken back. Okay, then all these local, as well, we are even endangering the life of Nigeria kids more, because all these local concussions, like go to anywhere.
All right.
They will now resort to it, and those costs and the alcohol content of those ones are even more dangerous.
All right, comrade, we've run out of time, but thank you so much for coming on, and definitely we'll be waiting to hear, from NAFDAC at this point to see what, they actually come up with, and some kind of resolution, at some point. But thank you both for coming on. Comrade Jimo Moyibo is the National President, Food, Beverages and Tobacco Senior Staff Association in Abuja, and we also had right here in Lagos, Comrade Mike Olarwaju, General Secretary, National Union of Food, Beverage and Tobacco Employees of Lagos. Thank you so much for coming on.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so that's it from me on Business Morning today. Thank you for watching. We'll get you the close for the local boss that's later today. But I'll hand things over now to the Sunrise Daily team.